you are my mother's child. No, because you are my sister, period. I'm going to take care of you because you are my brother. Even same goes to my biological dad's son. No child should be made to feel as an investment. And children, know your place. Know what you should do. Mulibwanji, Mulishani Bonse. Hey, Bane. This is the Unspoken podcast, and I am your host, Chris Lay. Every week, I will bring you a hot, juicy, life-changing topic. So join me every Friday at 8 p.m. Links in your DMs. Make sure to follow me on Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Radio Republic. That is where you have access to the podcast. But hey, if you cannot access it on the app, make sure to go through it on the website. That is if you cannot access it on the app. Well, I will be waiting for your responses in the comments. Yes, links in your DMs, and do follow. So right now, let's go right into the episode. What I have to share today is very broad. Okay, this has been an issue in my life. Like for days, this has been an issue in my life. I have been torn apart, torn in between because of this. Children are investments. And probably because I relate a lot to that statement is why I would feel so bad about it. I would feel so undervalued. You know what I mean? I would feel so undervalued because I just didn't like the thought of being an investment, to take some return, of some sort. So, that is the topic. Children are investments. What are you thinking about right now? What are you saying? What is in your mind? What are you on the yes or no? Are you agreeing? Should you tell your kid that you are an investment, or should you tell your sibling you are an investment? Should you encourage it? Should it be encouraged? Such questions. Or probably, how should the context be phrased? Maybe that. Okay, so I'm going to define investment today. I was working. I haven't had the time to do anything or have some time to myself of late. I started working somewhere new. Yes, I'm currently, I'm celebrating that. I'm celebrating a new working environment. I'm celebrating a new place, and it's been great at the same time hectic because it's a new environment. So I have to push myself. So I'm really exhausted, but hey, I'm going to do it. It is a Friday, 8 p.m. Links in your DMs. Definitely. This is where we are. Children are investment. So I'm going to define what investment is. And an investment is an asset, okay, or item that is acquired with a goal of generating some income or appreciation, okay? And so when an individual buys a good or purchases a good as an investment, the intent is not to consume the good, the thing that has been bought, but rather to use it in the future to create wealth. You get what I mean? Use it. I want you to underline, use it in the future to create wealth. Let's talk about this. So I'm going to take you back in the past. I'm pretty sure we've watched these medieval times, these medieval movies, and we saw how it was back then. Kudala kwenze like we could see that men were more favored to go to school, and women were just for the kitchen and the like, and many women don't like that. But I feel like probably the people in the past knew they were investing in the boys to be able to bring back the women into community. So I think the elders of old, that's what they had in mind, that let's educate the men because these guys are faster. You know what I mean? They are quicker. And I think this is their thinking. I'm an open-minded person. I'm not about to be biased about, oh no, they were bad. No, because I'm not a feminist. I don't support feminism. So I'll try to get into the shoes of the people that were, the people of old and what they were thinking. And, probably they were saying, let's educate the men so that these will educate the ladies, because who will cook, you understand? And the fact of the matter is that no one can cook as good as women. You understand what I mean? That's just one fact. This is something about women. No one is clean and whatever. So I think that was their reasoning. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about is if we get into the minds of the men of old, when they were sending out these men to actually go into schools and learn, I feel like they were investing in the boys, investing in the men to be able to create future wealth for the country, for the nation. They wanted to see men that are going to, create a nation or create a system and whatever. So I feel like that is their thinking. So now that we've looked at two definitions of what investment is, children are investments. Now, I think it's very important in our wording, how we choose to word our sentences. I feel like for me, I'm one person who's very particular with how you use your words. I'm one person who would easily get ticked off or offended because you used a word wrongly. I will get you by definition. And Google. There was a time that when I used to live with my mom, we were in a misunderstanding. Okay, so she used, not that I'm saying she used the word wrongly, but she used a word wrongly, if you understand what I mean. So I told, we were there, and I told her, I said, Mom, look, or rather she caught me wrongly. Yeah, she caught me wrongly. And so I mentioned something. I said, okay, let's Google. Let's Google the word. And that was very, in her terms, in her words, disrespectful. You know what I mean? I don't know. The thing that so much time has passed, I pretty much think it was disrespectful to, ask your mom to Google. Seeing that me and her are actually not on those levels. Me and my mom are not really on, joking levels and whatever. So probably I was joking, but she took it seriously. You ever have a weird moment where you're joking with someone and then that person just took matters seriously? Yeah. So I was probably joking, and then it made me realize that okay, me and my mom were just not in those joking terms. So yes, I'm very particular with what I say when I say it, especially to my mom. So away from that story, I'm very particular with how you use your words. So I've been told, or rather I've been raised up in an environment from 2012, in an environment where I'm constantly told you are an investment. And so I started to hate that word. I started to hate that word until I went into university. Then we had economics. We took economics classes, macro economics and whatever. And in there, we were learning what investments actually are. So when you're into law school, you get to take about 43 courses. And so we took 43 courses at our school, like that's for a whole 4 years. And in one of them, we get to learn different business. You get to learn business law, company law, and whatever. And in them, you learn what investments are. So I got to understand what the word investment is from there. And it is now that I'm just like, now I understand why probably I hated the word investment, because I've grown up in an environment where I am told you are an investment to your mother. You need to bring some form of return. That is why we're educating you. You need to come back and take care of us. Like I've told you in the definition, you bring back some form of return. So that's how my mind has been wired. And I can tell you this, it is very detrimental to a child, and it is very detrimental to somebody to tell that you are an investment. And I'm going to tell you based on my experience what that has done to me. That has sort of, it's made me step one step back away from my home, and not my home rather, but my family. And it's made me look at life, or rather look at my life as I am just an investment, and this is what I have to do in order to clear that debt that I have to pay. So I'm going to go into details of why it is wrong for you to call a child an investment, but it is not wrong for a child to honor his or her parents. Okay, I'm going to talk about those things. I'm going to address those things. Let's not forget that, here on this podcast, I speak the truth. At the same time, I'm very controversial. At the same time, I'm very controversial because I speak my mind and I speak out of my experience and what something has done for me. So you can imagine, I have been wired and molded into this robotic girl that in her mind, all she knows she has to do is make it so that she can make some form of return to her mother, who took care of her, raised her, clothed her, bathed her, did all this, did all that. For me, that is my goal. I want to make some form of return. Remember what an investment is. By definition, it is an asset or item. I am the asset, and I have been acquired with a goal of generating income all right? Or appreciation. So for me, that's what's in my mind. I am this investment and I need to do this. So you can imagine it will be so unfortunate if I die before that happens, because then I feel so bad because I feel like I haven't done what was required of me as an investment. So I'm going to talk about why this is very detrimental, and hence reversing that topic of the day, which is children are investments. Do you still think children are investments? Well, let's keep going. So, as you know, this podcast is not a Christian podcast, but I have Christian content because I am a believer of Christ Jesus, and all my episodes have him. I have whole 3 episodes just talking about Jesus, and so I am a believer, all right? But I'm not going to limit it to the religion Christianity. No, anybody can listen to the podcast, grow and learn, right? Okay, so the scriptures that I'm going to be looking on, there's Matthew 15, okay? So in your own time, go to Matthew 15 and go to Matthew 19. These talk about honor and respect to parents, right? Yes, we know them, right? This is Bible truth. Okay, so I'm going to be also talking from the research that I read by philosopher Jane English. So most of what I'm going to be talking about today is basically from her work as well. It is philosopher Jane English. You can look her up if you want. Okay, so moving on to our episode. Expectation and reciprocation. There's this thing in our Zambian homes, or rather African homes, where, I'm going to speak from my experience. I was always expected to... There was always this expectation of Chrisley, who Chrisley should be. I've raised you to be like this, so I expect you to be this. I expect you to be that. I expect you to do this. I expect you to be like that. And there's also the reciprocation. Because I've done this, because I've done that and that for you, because I've done that and that for you, you should do A, B, C, D, E, F, G for me because I've done that, right? Expectation and reciprocation. Now, I'm going to say this. It's very important for relationships. There must be expectation and there must be reciprocation. It's not wrong. But I think it's the context with how you put these things out, how you express your expectations matter, and how you impose your expectations onto other people matters. Also, how you expect reciprocation. Reciprocation should not be forced. And if it is not happening, if the person you love, let's say a guy you like or a woman you are in love with, if you notice 2, 3, 5 days, this chick is not texting you back. I think I've done a whole topic on signs she's into you and signs he's not into you. I think I've done like on both ends. You can go back into the episodes and listen to them. Basically, if you notice 3 to 5 days, reciprocation is not happening. So you move on. You get me? You move on. If you wish to continue, then continue. You understand? But then that is now where conditional and unconditional comes in. And I want you to highlight that. I really want you to highlight that. If you have a pen, if you're taking note, this is where you take note. This is where the aspect of conditional and unconditional love comes in. Now, what is conditional love? Conditional love is pretty much what I feel I was subjected to. I can tell you this for a fact. I come from a place where I'd be told, Chrisley, you're very hard to love. I remember sometime last year in June, I was sat down and whatever, and I was told, hey, you're very hard to love. And so for me to love you, you must be a certain way. You know what I mean? You're very difficult to love. You're very hard. You're very, closed up. I'm a very closed up person. I talk a lot though, but yeah, if you know me, you know that I'm very closed up. I'm very private about my life, actually. Yeah. So that's what I was told at home. I was sat down, you're like, Chrisley, you're very hard to love. And, if you want, us to love you, you have to be a certain way. So I remember looking at, this particular parent, I'm not going to specify who was who. I'm not going to put any genders and whatever. And I told this person, I said, look, well, it's very unfortunate that it's very hard for you to love me. Honestly, I'm really, it's really unfortunate. I wish there was more that I could do. And this is very, very serious. This is what I said. And I said, I wish there was more that I can do. Unfortunately, there's none. There's nothing I can do, because honestly, I'm not going to change who I am for you. Period. God has managed to love me. So, and his love is unconditional. I have never experienced unconditional love in my life, generally speaking. If we're gonna speak, there's always been conditions to love. I've never experienced unconditional love. I'm yet to date. I haven't, dated per se. So I'm yet to know what unconditional love feels like. The only place that I've managed to tap unconditional love is from God. And God has taught me to love unconditionally. If you are a close peer of mine, you will know that I love unconditionally. That's the kind of love that I give, that I offer. In my inner circle, my friends, the people in my inner circle, I love unconditionally. Meaning, you can step on my toe, you can do whatever. I have a ground. I have a ground for everybody. I'm like, okay, you know what? Look, this is what you've done. Yes, I love you. I still love you. That's me. That's who I am. No matter how much you're gonna hurt me. In my inner circle, I just want to specify. We shouldn't get it wrong. Yeah, in my inner circle, I love, and my love is unconditional, period. If you've had an experience with me, you can testify. And if you haven't, well, now you know. So that is the kind of person that I am. I love unconditionally. So I'm not about to give people condition, because God has loved me unconditionally. Like, he's shown me what it means to love unconditionally. He's not giving me conditions, but he's giving me precepts to walk by. He's given me laws to walk by. And by laws, I mean simple rules like love me and love your neighbor with all your heart and all your mind. Honor your parents, regardless of who they are, regardless of what they do to you. Honor them. These are things that he has given me to do. And not that they're conditions, no. It's just for my benefit. So those are small things that differentiate conditional love and unconditional love. So I hope you've understood that. So, when it comes back to honor, okay, honoring parents, and why I've come into all this honor, and why you're talking about honor when we're talking about investments. This is where it all begins. I always felt bad being told that you are an investment. I felt so angry. I don't feel angry anymore, because I feel like it's just the wording that's wrong and context. You shouldn't use the word investment. Why? I am not an investment. And I remember clearly stating this. And I told, I said, look, if you think of me as an investment, you're wasting your time. This is something that I said up front. I sat in a family meeting and the like, and I said, if you think of me as an investment, you are wasting your time. But if you think of me as a daughter that is going to honor you, then yes, I will give you the world. I will give you the moon and back. I will do things that you wouldn't imagine your daughter doing. But if you think of me as an investment, you're wasting your time, because I'm not giving you any returns. Why? Because I hated for so long being called an investment. Why? At the end of the day, I began to feel like a burden, like a liability. Today, because she has to just give us back. You understand? And these are things that, one parent would always tell me and be like, you just have to give back. You have to give back. Think about all this, your mother has, stressed. Your mother has done all this. She's paid your fees. And look at where it hurts. I'm the child that knows that her mother has been spending so much money. Why? Because it's me they're spending on. I don't know if you understand what I mean. It's me these things are happening. Maybe there's kids out there who do not understand that their parents are working so hard, but there's people like me that are able to see that her family is starving because her mother had to make a deposit of 34,000 kwacha to pay for her fees. Or there's people like me that are able to tell that because they had to send me school fees to pay so that this chick can write her exams. I don't know if you understand. I'm the chick that was being spent on all this money. I know. So your reminder is not needed. You understand? Because you're equally hurting me. First of all, I'm the one who has to study. And not only that, I have to study in law school. I am this 19-year-old in her third year who wants to pass, putting pressure on myself because I want to make some form of return to my mom for what she's done. So now I'm making myself work even twice harder. And you know what hurts? Ngaya summer result, elo wafeluka. And then I fail. I see a D. I see a C. I'm so hurt. I'm so downcast. I'm depressed. I'm like, oh my God, I'm failing. What's happening? Because I want to make my mom so proud. I want to show her that, look, you're not wasting your money. I'm valid. I'm a good investment. I want to work so hard to show her. All my life, I'm working so hard to show my mom that, look, you're not wasting your money. I'm a good investment. And when I don't pass, I feel myself as a burden. And I'm saying, God, probably you should have given her another child. Why am I feeling all these negativities? Because my mind has been wired like that. I've been molded because of words. They're telling me, no, your investment. Me, I'm researching. What is an investment? Oh, it's this. So I have to work towards this. And all I'm going to say is that that's wrong. If you're going to tell me on my first job to say, boy, you've started working, you've gotten a job, high time you started paying back to your mother what she's been spending on you. First of all, this is just the first job. And not only that, job na malice, you understand? How can you make a return on to malice chabe, Pamawe? How can you make a return? How can you give back? You know, so this is the effect of what calling your child an investment is. I can tell you, a year ago, I was bruised, damaged. My thinking was so damaged. I'm not at the place that I was at a year ago, but a year ago, that was me. I was just like, I need to pay back. I was always feeling like a burden. I didn't like to burden anyone, even when I moved out of mom's house. I never liked to be taken care of because I just didn't want to feel like that anymore. To feel like a burden. To feel like to start we are the ones who did this for her. We're the ones who did that. Hey, pay back. No. I got so tired of feeling like I'm an investment, like, oh, we are doing this because you need to do that, And it just makes you feel so bad that you can't. Sometimes how I would feel if, for example, my mom is there like, no, Chrysler, there's no money to pay for this semester, I'll be there like, God, I wish I could help my mother pay my fees. That was a year ago. I mean, that was like 3 years ago. 2 years ago, rather. That was 2021. And now we're crossover. We're in 2023. And earlier last year, my young sister, she's 10 now. My young sister is 10. And I heard these words from her mouth. God, I have not forgotten these words. And when I heard these words, it broke me. So my young sister was there like, Chrisley, I just know how it is when you go visit home, and then now a maid starts telling you, here's my story. You were Chrisley Veda, always a kamba mwaichwove. Yeah, speaking Bemba, but I'll translate this in Nyanja, yeah? So she hasn't been going to school. So I asked, like, Hope, why haven't you been going to school? My sister's Hope. She's like, I know, for this semester, for this term, mommy doesn't have money to pay. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll try and ask. I'll follow it up. So my maid by Saturday, Chris Leon Fako if you actually don't want you worry that Nishi. Uziba. And this is what she said, that your young sister was asking me of a way in which she can make money so that she can help your mother pay her fees. Now, I'm pretty sure every adult would be like, oh wow, she's so innovative and wow, she wants to help out. I don't know where your mindset is on that. But when I heard that, I went to my room and I cried. I cried to God because I'm like, Nangama mentality yachoka koti. This is a 10-year-old kid. First of all, she should enjoy her childhood. Number one. You understand what I mean? Every child should be allowed to enjoy their childhood. Why should a 10-year-old kid think about helping her mother pay fees or think about what should I do? What form of business should I do in order to help the family, to help mom? I don't know how you feel about that, and I don't know where your mind is on that. But for me, as an elder sister, hearing my young sister say those words, I was broken to the core. I was broken to the core because I was seeing patterns continuing. And I'm saying, no, what is this? For me, that was strange. Why should my young sister want to pay for her own fees as she's only 10? Why should she want to do a business? A business, business, so that I help. Why? Why should this 10-year-old feel so much of the need to pay back? And for me, that broke me, and it still breaks me even now because I'm like, no child, no person should be made to feel like an investment, period. Kulibe nazo kamba balibe. Point number one is no child today asked to be born. That's number one. We are coming back to the biblical aspect. Don't worry. No child begged, asked to be born, so that when they are born now you tell them about how your struggles have been. No. Let that be a point of discipline. When you're disciplining your child who is, by the way, failing at school because of a certain bad behavior, tell them to say, hey, wait, me I wake day and night for you. Can you behave yourself? That's not a problem. I'm not disputing that. For stupid children, city kids, no problem. Discipline them, tell them how much you're working. But I'm talking about the constant taunting, where you constantly tell your child to say, look, this is what I do for you. This. So, you need to begin to prepare yourself that next future, you are the one who's keeping us. All these siblings, you're the one taking care of them. First of all, it shouldn't be like that. I don't know. But my mind is not an African mindset where I will impose on my firstborn to take care of her siblings. And then me, what am I going to be doing as a parent? So many parents today are waiting on their children to build for them. Number one. Number two, so many parents are waiting on their children to leave them inheritances, to give them things, to give them money. I have no issues. That is now where we come to honor. Matthew 15 and 19. This is where it falls in. That's where honor comes in. Yes, every child today, including myself, should be able to honor their mother and father. All right? That is your obligation. That is an obligation. We should be able. Just put a full stop. Be with me on this one. Okay? I'm not concluding anywhere. Just be in this is a bit tricky. It's a tricky topic. And I've taken my time on this one. There is honor. Okay? Every child should respect and honor their parents. That's not in dispute. That means that if you have, an act of gratitude, sure, for example, a monthly pay where, if you get, let's say, an 8,000 every month, you give your parents, you send some money to your parents every month. That's okay. You understand? It's an act of gratitude to show them respect to them and appreciate them in your life for raising them. You understand? That's why lobola is paid. Okay? I mean, lobola is paid. Lobola is basically an act of appreciation and respect to your parents for raising you. To say, thank you for raising your daughter. 10 pin muli wine. Or 8 pin sinizi ba mama prices. That is just an act of gratitude. And that is why every child should be able to, for an act of gratitude, give back to their parents as a form of honor. All right? But allow me to mention that that's basically your generosity. That is basically your generosity, and it hinges on whether you actually have money. Now, let's go back to that one. If you have money as a child, you're independent and you're actually making money. You're actually having money. My 8 pin, my 10 pin, not even my 8 pin, my 10 pin, 15, 20, 30. There's people that get paid a lot of money. You get paid my 30. You're buying cars here and there. Out of your gratitude, it would be very good of you if you could honor your parents with a car. If you could honor your parents with money, that would be very good with you. Get me? That's okay. Honor them. As a form of generosity on your end and gratitude and honor, it is a form of showing that you honor your parents when you give them money, when you give them food, when you give them, these things. All right? Giving money to your parents only makes sense if you're actually financially able to do it. Please mark this. If you're actually financially able to do it, it is okay, and it is actually it's needed. So long as it's not going to affect your lifestyle. Remember, if you are living alone, if you are fending for yourself, all right, and you are just not in the financial position to be giving every month, if it's going to affect your lifestyle in that you constantly remain broke after expediting. After releasing a lot of money, to your parents and whatever, you're taking care of them, it's good. But if you're not in the financial position to do it, it is not wise of you to do so. That's just my thought. It is not wise of you. It's actually not a good idea. Why? Because it's going to affect your future lifestyle. Now listen, when you are living on your own and you're independent, all right, you are building for your legacy and you are building for your future. Remember, every child who becomes independent is now preparing for their life. Okay, remember, you are not growing younger, you are growing older. And your parents understand this. So for example, if your parents are not above 60, they're in their 50s, 40s, 30s, they are able. Yes, they have strength and they have life, It's different when it's a condition where it's, a health condition where, for example, you have parents that can't walk, you have a parent that can't see, all right? There's those situations. You have a mom or a dad who is blind or maybe can't walk, lame, impaired, maybe paralyzed. Those situations are very different. Like, at the end of the day, why would you even leave? You get me? But if they're below 50 and they're working, they're good, and you are independent and you are not financially able, why would you be sending money every month to them? You understand what I mean? Yes, there's that form of gratitude, but your gratitude it's not only money that shows honor. Please remember, Cain and Abel were not giving God money. It was what they had. So you as a child, what is it that you have that you can offer your parents that could honor them? You understand? If you're a writer, write a book in honor of your parents. I think that is honor enough. That is good. That is big. If you're a painter, paint something in honor of your parents, that if someone buys that painting, you give the money to your parents. You understand what is there that you can do that can honor your parents? It's not only money, Vane. It's not only money. Me, I just want to emphasize this. It's not only money. No, you can give other things. There's so much that you can give that could honor your parents. Even just you being alive is honor enough. Go visit them. Clean their house. Buy them milk, bread, eggs. What does your mother like? For me, my mother loves potatoes and lemons. I'm not in a financial state to send money every month. For how? When? Where? No. Give me 3 years, 2 years, 5 years from now. That will be happening. But now it's wild. What can I do right now? When I visit my mom, I'll get her a lot of lemons. I'll get her a lot of potatoes. And I'll take home and say, Mom, I got you this. Because why? You love potatoes and you love lemons. There was another time I showed honor to my mom on my birthday. All right, on my birthday, I bought gifts, not for myself. In my the last money I had, if you understand this life of being independent or just being alone, you understand that there are days you will sleep hungry, there are days you will starve, and that was the only money I had on me. I had a 500 kwacha. I wanted to take myself out to eat. I really just wanted to take myself out to eat like some Indian food and whatever. That's what I wanted to do. A plate of Indian food and at least like a cocktail. Chapwa. But what I did was I woke up that day and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the mall and I'm going to, this last money I have for food, whatever, hunger, sleeping hungry. So this is what I did. I got myself up on my birthday, it was on a Tuesday, and I went to the mall and I got my mom a diary. I got my siblings things and I got my young sister a diary. Now, for me as a daughter, and probably this is something that my mom has never really understood, when I was growing up, my mother, from the time I was a kid, a baby, my mother would always do this thing where she buys me diaries, right? And she grew me with this habit of every month, every time when my diary finishes, she was always gift me with a diary all the time. When my diary finishes, I was like, Mommy, my diary. I remember I still have my 6-year-old diaries. I still have my 7-year-old diaries. I still have them. 14 years, whatever age, my mom would always get me a diary for my birthday. Whatever age, my mom always got me a diary. So for me, even if I moved out of the house and probably she's forgotten that there was that culture, she's forgotten that there was that system. For me as a child, I was honoring her for doing that for me. Like, this is to honor you for all that you did for me all those years, because you actually brought me up with a culture of writing. You've actually brought me up with a culture of reading, and I want to appreciate you for that. The reason I write well today, the reason I can speak well today is not because I was smart. It's because my mother, she embedded that in me. She taught me that. So for me as a daughter, my way of honoring, someone can think, Manje, just take a diary. No, that is honor enough. And I feel like we need to understand what honor is. What is respect? Respect is not a chitenge. Me, I like to say this, and I always taught this to my mom. I was like, Mommy, respect is chitenge. It's not a chitenge. Honor is not a chitenge. You can't look at me today and because I'm in a chitenge, you just say, I never respect for Babofi. Respect is not even in what someone wears. Don't be fooled. Just because someone is in a long skirt or a long dress doesn't make them respectful. You get me? It doesn't mean that they're honorable to their parents. If you had to do a research up, most of the people that were quote unquote the good girls are the ones who practically fell pregnant in their teens or whatever. And look, not to bash those teen pregnancies. No, I'm not bashing that. But all I'm saying is that there's just this a thing that's put on people in terms of shani. But then again, you know what I mean? I think I have to do an episode on dress code, huh? There are certain things I can't wear in certain places, you understand? And there are just certain things I can't do in certain places, you get me? Already, I know how to respect myself. So already, if you respect yourself, then you're able to respect other people. But if you don't respect yourself, you won't respect other people. So I've already told you something about how you dress. So if you dress in a way that's disrespectful even to yourself, trust me, no one will respect you, period. There's no two ways about it. So we are talking about honor and parents and whatever. It goes back to that. So me, I think I've talked about the differences, okay? If you can send, your parent, how you can honor your parents, all right? How you can honor and show respect to them. It's not only by sending money. You can do other things that can show them respect. Buy them a farm. You're honoring them. Buy them a farm and then tell them, look, I know you love farming. I know you love animals. For me, I actually plan on doing that for my mom. My mom has always wanted a farm. My mom has always wanted to live on a farm. And probably right now she can't do that for herself, but it's in my plans as Chrisley, and God willing, she lives that long, or God willing, I live that long, I'll get to that finish where she can be on a farm and do whatever it is that she wants to be on a farm. You get me? Hire people for her and give her that farm that she wants. That's my way of honoring. And because now my mindset has changed, I'm not on the I want to pay her back. But that was me a year ago. And trust me, if God did not teach me these principles, I would have been in a bad place now, and I wouldn't have been, the episode I would have been giving you right now would have been an episode coming from hate and a very bad place. And I'm really glad that I'm in a good place to actually do this episode, because this is something that has always been on my heart, and it makes me so emotional. No child should be an investment. No child should be called an investment. No, children are not investments. Children should not be burdens. Parents owe children owe a responsibility to children, and children, we owe responsibilities to our parents, and our responsibility is to honor them and respect them. And parents, they did their part. Parents, they did their part. They raised us. They bore us. They did this. But then no parent should make their child feel like they owe them a duty of care to actually take care of them. The reason as to why I want to take care of my mother when she's old and gray is not because she took care of me, she did this for me. No, it's simply because she's my mother, period. There shouldn't be any reason attached to why I should take care of my step siblings. Bro, they are my siblings. And this I can tell you, I'm a very protective person. They are my siblings, whether step or not. They are my siblings, and I'll take care of them as is. Period. I'm not going to take care of you because of this. No, I'm not going to take care of them, no, because you are my mother's child. No, because you are my sister. Period. I'm going to take care of you because you are my brother. Even same goes to my biological dad's son. You understand? My biological dad's son. I'm not going to be, the only reason as to why I'm going to take care of you is because you are my father's son. No, I'm going to take care of you because you are my brother, period. There's nothing that is tying anything to anything. And we live in a society where people are tying these things. Parents are tying small things. No, I took care. I gave you a roof over. If it was not you who was going to do it, then who would have done it? You are the one who I was in the womb for. So who was going to do it if not you? Period. You understand what I mean? These are simple matters. These are simple issues. You get me? Don't tie things to things. I'm going to do this for you because you did this for me. No, I'm going to do this for you because you are my friend, period. There shouldn't be anything tied to that. Oh, no, because she did that for me, so even me I should do. No, that's not how life should be. So going back to our topic, no child should be made to feel as an investment. And children, know your place. Know what you should do. You should honor and respect our parents. We should honor and respect our parents. Period. Not because of anything, but because she is your mom and he is your dad. Period. Whether it's a stepdad, whether it's a real dad, whether it's a stepmom, stepdad, real mom, it is on us to honor them. And I can tell you that this has been so hard because I am torn between 4 families. I have my stepdad's side, I have my real mom, I have my my real dad's side, and it's a circle. And I've been torn, I've been broken so many times, but I love the place that I'm in because I am undergoing my healing. And it's been a journey. I'm yet to do a topic on that, but it's also something that I'm writing in my book. I'm writing a book all right, on these issues, parents, fathers, especially fathers, to those females that have never had a father figure in their lives. Or for those who have had father figures but there just really wasn't any presence around. So I'm gonna do that. I'm writing a book on that, and hopefully it can get published very soon. We gotta pray for funds. Let's pray for funds. But other ways, guys, this is just what it is. Like, I'm going to read from the book of Proverbs chapter 13:22, and this is just my concluding statement. You know what I mean? I feel like we've just gone overboard on this one. And a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And this is for you, provided you are a future parent. For me, I want to advocate for the future parents. We, the future parents, let's be different. Let's be different. Let's honor our parents, yes. But at the same time, let's look at their mistakes and actually not make them. Let's not make the mistakes our parents have made. Let's learn from them. At the end of the day, let us learn from our elders. And I love one thing that one of my aunts taught me. And she said, Chrisley, look, we're your parents. She's my aunt. And she said, we're your parents. We've made a lot of mistakes, but you learn from us. Learn from these mistakes. And I just want us to learn. Let's be very sensitive about what we tell our kids, what we tell our siblings. For me, I always tell my sister, you're not an investment. Never let anyone tell you that you're an investment, Munduanga. No. Mom is supposed to pay. She'll pay. When she has the money, she'll pay. Don't feel like you have to make that money for yourself. It's her responsibility to take care of you. Period. Why? Because she's your mom. Nothing else, nothing more. You get me? So I feel like that's how it should be. So Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. What are parents leaving their children today? I think this should be a question. What are parents leaving their children with today? I can tell you this. Girl children are not being taught financial literacy. I didn't know what it was to be financially intelligent or financially literate. I never had a clue. Not a clue. You can imagine how I used to waste all my salaries. I just used to waste them. I knew nothing about saving. I'm not saying that, my mother was probably, because even her, probably she wasn't, taught. You understand? But one thing that I appreciate that my mom always taught me is budgeting. My mother always taught me to budget, and that is one thing that I would do. But then, you're young, irresponsible. A year ago, I was so irresponsible when it came to my funds. But now I've reached a point where I'm actually seeing the things that I would watch my mom do when I was younger. My mom would always budget. She would always save. And, it is now that I'm learning these things. I'm like, wow, I understand why she always had a book. Why in a shop, she would always be calculating. Why? Because these are things that are very important. And I feel like many people should be taught this, especially girl children. Even just everybody. We need to be financially literate. We need to understand what it means to save. What does it mean to invest? What is a profit? Let's learn these things. I'm probably not the best when it comes to these things because I'm equally still learning. But now I think I have an idea of what capital is. I have an idea of what a profit is. I have an idea of, what savings is. Now I even have a bank account, where I've got a savings now, where I'm putting in small monies. I never knew these things. A year ago, it was a disaster. So it starts now. Let's not make the same mistakes our parents made. When your child is 18, what will you offer your child? What will you give your child? Will she have a trust fund? Will he have a trust fund? These things starts now. Don't have sex, unprotected sex. Guys, don't release in girls. Girls, make sure at least if you don't trust your man, let him wear a condom, period. So that you don't have unwanted babies. At the end of the day, you start blaming the child. You start causing traumatic pain. Your unhealed past, you start imposing it on your child. Please, Topapata, use condom. Condomize if possible. You understand? And this is even going to lead us to my next episode. I'm not going to say what it is, but you better be ready for it, because this one I'm talking about abortion. These things are very important. Very important. If you don't want to have children now, please condomize. Condomize. Use those condoms. If you trust your partner, tell your partner, hey, please, don't release in me. Oh, men, please, if you don't trust yourself, don't. Or better yet, don't have sex, period. Be celibate. It's possible. Go to Google, ask Google, how can I be celibate? Fialaisa. And most of all, the Bible is there. It's actually there. I didn't think the Bible would have such things of how to help me. But guys, prayer has really helped me actually. Prayer and reading the Bible, it's really helped me to stay sexually sane. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Sexually sane. Even in that phase of you want to have sex, you just keep yourself self-control. Prayer helps. It really helps. And also who you are with. Condomize. We don't want to continue bringing babies that are I don't even know how to put it. We don't want to bring more hate and hurt. Heal. Our parents, they haven't healed because probably there was no platform for them to heal. But we, the generation of today, have a chance to actually heal from our trauma. So that by the time we are having kids, we are not imposing our pain, frustrations, and traumas on them. Please, Twapapata. Let's learn. And the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. What legacy are you going to leave your children? When your child is 18, what will your child get from you? When the time comes when your child is now a man and he has to leave your house, because for me, my son, with the moment he's 18, I'm going to give him a chance to say, do you choose to stay with me or do you choose to go? Period. And if he says, I want to go, there must be money allocated for him. When he's going to university, there must be an account that I was saving 18 years ago. Even 100 kwacha is something. It starts now. You think you are still young. Vane, open your eyes. We are not small. Even if you are 15 years and you're listening to this, you need to start planning. Probably there's like a boy you are dating. What is he doing for you? What is it that you guys are talking about? Very important. So please, let the word keep your life goals and build your legacy up. You've got a legacy to build. So at the end of the day, it's also very important for parents to know that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, period. But again, we're not going to bash our parents for not doing that. Of course not. But what we can do as children is honor and respect them for who they are in our lives. It may be hard, but you have to. It is a must and it is something that is required of us from God. Remember, there's sacrifices. Your parents made sacrifices for you to be where you are. Me, my mom, I saw all the sacrifices she would do. Probably some of them she never told me, but some of them I saw. And there are also sacrifices that I have to make for my mother. And there are also sacrifices, but we're not going to rule out the sacrifices that I made also for her. You understand? It's reciprocal. Reciprocation is very important. So guys, I think this is where we're going to end the episode for today. You know, it is very important. No child should be called an investment. That's all I'm going to say. Until next time, guys, it's bye and much love. God bless.